24 hours before your exams. I can't stress how important these are. You've been preparing for your exams, you worked hard for them, but how you spend these 24 hours now can dictate what happens in the exam tomorrow. I'm going to split this video up into the day before your exam, the night before your exam, and the morning of your exam. So let's begin with the day before your exam. You should already have a plan of what you're going to do the day before your exams. I wouldn't recommend doing any kind of heavy revision, so no past papers. You should only really be consolidating now. So now is the time to use the notes and the flashcards you have made. You shouldn't really be doing anything new, so instead of going through new questions, just do the questions you have already done and look at the mark schemes again. And please don't set yourself unrealistic expectations and like going through the whole syllabus, because you won't be able to do that. And that will just make you more anxious and unprepared. At this point, you shouldn't really be learning anything new. But if there are topics that you feel really unconfident in, then you could look at the notes or the summary. If you don't already have that, then you can find that online. But you shouldn't really be doing any new questions on those topics. Now, some of you would have done enough revision already and may be feeling absolutely fatigued. Well, in that case, just switch over to something else. Maybe revise for the exam after the upcoming exam, or just do something fun. Just relax. Maybe go for a walk, go for a run, go gym, do something else. Also, it's important that you're not getting distracted by others. You will always have someone who would have done way more revision than you, and because of that, you might feel unprepared. But just remember, it's not you versus them. Just do your own thing. Now, moving on to the night before your exam. This is the time to get everything ready. So just pick out your clothes for tomorrow, just something comfortable, and get all your equipment ready. So your pen, pencil, calculator, ruler, a spare pen, and make sure that everything works perfectly fine, as well as your student ID or your timetable or anything else that you will need. Put it in your bag so you don't forget, and plan your whole morning ahead. So what time are you going to wake up, set an alarm and a backup alarm, what are you going to have for breakfast, and how are you going to get to the examination hall? Are you going to take a bus, are you going to take a car, or are you just going to walk it? Just make sure that you have everything planned out so everything is relaxed. I would recommend that you save the examination office number for your school or your college so that if anything was to happen, then you should be able to contact them straight away to avoid any unnecessary stress. Before you go to sleep, you could review the most important bits of information, but the best thing you can do is just sleeping on time. Sleeping is essential for your memory and improving your concentration. So don't try pull an all-nighter. Just sleep as much as you need for your own body. Now onto the morning. Hopefully you would have had a good sleep and you will be feeling good and energized. Now make sure that you're having a good breakfast. Don't ever skip your breakfast. Try and go for slow releasing carbs. So for example, oats, because they will keep you running throughout your exam. You might want to go for a walk if you have time. Just try and relax and avoid your phone or TV or any kind of screen. If you are doing any revision, then it should be very light revision. So again, just kind of reviewing your notes and going through your flashcards. I would recommend that if you're having any kind of a heavy meal, then you should have it at least 2 hours before the exam, because your body is going to be digesting that, especially proteins and carbs, and it's going to release hormones which can make you tired and sleepy, which you obviously don't want before your exam. If your exam is in the morning, hopefully you would have had your breakfast. But if it's in the afternoon, then you can have a light snack beforehand. So for just any fruits, for example, I used to have an apple, just so that I am not feeling hungry when I'm walking into the exam, but also not too full. In the 2 hours before your exam, I would highly advise you not to do any questions. You could again visit the most important bits of information, the mark scheme for questions, methods, definitions, formulas and equations. Now, you don't have to if you don't want to. Set a time and completely stop revising after that. I would say at least 30 minutes before your exam. You could go toilet in that meantime or fill up your water bottle. And I would recommend that you have a water bottle with a straw because you don't want it leaking in the exam. Be at the exam hall at least 15 minutes beforehand, and then just talk to your friends or people around you, people with a positive mindset. And you could talk about something other than exams, so your holiday plan or things you've coming up, and try to avoid anything that could bring your mood down or someone else's mood down. Think of them as well. And that's it, you'll just be called in and you will do brilliant. Now, finally, I would just like to point out that if you're doing anything specifically for the exam, then at least start doing it a couple of days before. So for example, if you are going to start sleeping early, then start doing it at least 2 days before. Because if you do it just the day before your exam, then as it'll be something new, you won't be used to it, then you just may struggle to do it. And that could make things even worse for you. And this also applies to what you're eating and drinking. I see some people having a Red Bull just before the exam when they've never had it before, and this is not recommended. Just stick to what you normally do and everything will be fine. And watch out for my next video on what you should be doing just before the exam, during the exam and after the exam. Hopefully this video has been useful for you. Thanks for watching and good luck.